Dubravka giving away the foul there, at fault for the third goal as well.
Yeah, listen, we're not keepers, but just watching that clip there, and like Carlton says, he comes out with his feet. I think the way he takes his touch, he can't come back inside. He can only take the touch wherever he does, which is away from goal. And if he comes out with his hands, he's got more chance of getting a hand on it. But yeah, listen, he's not played, but I think he was at fault for both them goals. And there's a question to be had whether they're going to get a keeper in January, because.
Do you think they should?
I personally think so. Not sure what Carlton thinks. I think you agree with me.
Yeah, no, I said at the time when Pope was out, very few clubs have. When I have to be careful what I say, because they are good number twos, but there's a reason why they're number twos. There's a reason, because they're not good enough to be number ones. They're good enough to come in and fill in for 2 or 3 games, and a lot of those keepers, we've been there at Newcastle. Harper, happy to sit on the bench, come in, play a couple of games and go back out. That's what they're like. Very few places. I was at Leeds United when we had 2 really good goalkeepers in Paul Robinson and Nigel Martin. And in the end, something had to give, and Nigel Martin went to Everton. So, at the end of the day, it's unfortunate what's happened with Pope, but I think, I'm sure Eddie Howe had already had it in his mind that he's going to have to get a goalkeeper. I mean, De Gea has been mentioned. I mean, for me, I'd go and get, if you can get him out, Ramsdale.
On loan or to buy? Because...
No, they won't sell him. They won't sell Ramsdale. They won't sell him.
What if he comes on loan then, and then in the summer, would he want to go back to Arsenal? Probably not. Would he be sold to Newcastle?
Well, there's certainly got to be a conversation had. I don't know. Obviously, his father's come out and said that he didn't know that Raya was going to be signed permanently, right? And if that's the case, then there's a major problem, because Ramsdale's then committed to a new 5-year deal. So there's a problem.
Yeah, listen, if I'm Ramsdale, listen, you want to play football. He's obviously frustrated, as we know. As Carlton says, his dad's come out. I think he's pretty obvious. And you forget there's the Euros coming up. Nick Pope's injured. If something happens to Pickford, God forbid, then Ramsdale needs to be playing football. And if he's sat on the bench at Arsenal playing the odd cup game, then Southgate's got a big decision to make in terms of England. I'm not sure who is the keeper after that, but I think Ramsdale will be pushing, and there's an opportunity that's came about now, and I'd be surprised if Newcastle don't look at De Gea or Ramsdale.
But the thing is for Ramsdale, it's okay. England's one thing, but it's part of his career. You don't want to be sitting on the bench. I don't get it when players do not want to play football. For me, when I played football, do you know if I missed a game? If I missed a game, it was like somebody might as well tear my arm off. When George Graham came into Leeds United and he said I was never going to play, I thought, nah, he's not going to do that to me. When the opening day of the season comes and you're not playing, the opening day of the season, and it doesn't hurt you, right, there's something wrong. I went and knocked on his door. I said, right, listen, I'm not bothered about the money. I need to go and play. And that's what that's what, like you're looking at Phillips at Man City. The manager's come out and said, we're the best with the world. I don't see you getting in my team. He's got to go. He's got to go in January.
And sorry, and I think Ramsdale and Newcastle, I think, because I've been up there, I've played there, I think they're a perfect match. For his character and his personality. Yeah, no. The way the fans out there, and he likes to engage with the fans. And imagine the Newcastle crowd and he's being in front of them. Whereas you look at De Gea, he's not played for, what, in 6 months. What condition is he in? We don't know.
I wouldn't personally touch De Gea, not for any other reason apart from what Danny's just come up with. He's not been at a club. He's not been. So when you're not at a club and you're not training at that level, to bring him in at the level that Newcastle are at the moment, which is, we don't know what's going to happen with the Champions League. I'm assuming they will go out, but they're still going to be pushing to go into the top 4 for Europe. So you need somebody there. So Ramsdale is the perfect fit. He is.
Let's just say it goes well, even if it's on loan and then the option to buy comes up in the summer. I mean, you started your career at Newcastle on loan before it was made permanent, so you would know all about this. Who should be Newcastle's #1 when Pope returns from injury? Now, there's a question.
Listen, we can say it now, but it depends on his performances. If he does go for... I signed for the 6 months on loan. perform well, then I sign permanently in January. If he goes on loan in January and he plays as we know he can play, then I think Newcastle have got a decision to make, and where maybe, you know, you let Pope go, because I don't think Eddie Howe would want a situation like Arteta has got now, in having Ramsdale and Pope, you know, and they're both England internationals.
But the difference is with this situation is Pope's out injured now. You don't know when he's going to return. They can say 2 months, but you're talking
longer. It'll be April, they're saying.
You're talking about a goalkeeper with a dislocated shoulder that needs an operation. So you haven't got a clue. So what you can't think as Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe can't think, oh, well, I've got 3 months, because he might not be in work in 3 months. You know, these people in the hierarchy at Newcastle, they're very ambitious people. So, you know, at the end of the day, all he can think about is here and now. So if he signs Ramsdale a loan till the summer, right, OK, then he gets to the summer, assesses where Pope is, assesses where the situation is with Ramsdale. It might be a situation with Ramsdale that he goes back to Arsenal and goes back as #1. I don't think Raya's the answer. I really don't. I really don't.
I like the point that Carlton just mentioned about Eddie Howe, is if, you know, they go out of the Champions League, which obviously we hope that they don't, and then for some reason Newcastle's performances are like this and they start going down the league, Newcastle fans will let you know. And the hierarchy at Newcastle, the expectations now, because of last season, if they do start going, you know, losing the position in the league, you know, they might have a decision to make. So I think Eddie Howe's got to think about the club now and himself.